and welcome flip clock fans. We're just going to take a little closer look at the Steve McGarrett flip clock. This is the Westclox model S29-A. If you've seen the other video, or if you've watched Hawaii Five-0, the original, you may know that Steve McGarrett had black tape on there. Didn't want anybody to know that it was a Westclox. So why do I have two clocks? Well, two's better than one. I wanted to have the clocks. I wanted to make sure I had a working clock. Didn't know, so them both come up, and I made sure I had one that was working. And now they're both working. I didn't have to do anything to them. You can see the dirt here that I'm working on. It's pretty filthy, but this one was actually dirtier. Where that comes from is, I guess, the motor. There maybe the varnish that they use on the windings. After a while, just kind of smokes off. That's all I can figure. But so when you look at the clock, you've got the wheels that are held in place by springs. That's just so that when they turn, they'll fall kind of into place and holds them in line. Sometimes you'll hear a click, and it's from these. I don't know if that matters to you. You could maybe loosen the spring up a little bit. Maybe it wouldn't click as loud. Don't know. It doesn't seem to bother me, so we're going to go with it. Again, the GE capsule motor. Very reliable motor. So when I was working on cleaning this, the best thing to use for this, and this is just from me trial and error, tried soap and water. I also tried alcohol. The alcohol was working really good, except that it started taking some of the paint off. So I chose to use Windex, which is basically because it's got a little bit of ammonia in it. Now, the problem is that I've had other rolling wheel clocks, Seth Thomas rolling wheel clock in particular, that had kind of red numbers, but the ammonia started taking that paint off. And I've talked about this before, but I'll probably clean this out too with ammonia, because ammonia just seems to dissolve that stuff, but it will also dissolve your chrome paint. So it's very treacherous. So at one point I thought, well, I'll just get some straight up ammonia. That took the paint off of a clock I had one time, took it off completely. So I just stick with Windex. It's got a little detergent in it, other detergent in it as well. So it just goes really well. So basically, I just gonna go through and wipe this off, and it cleans off really, really well. Same with this wheel here, and it's not taking the numbers off. Now, of course, how could I be sure of that? Well, let's try the wheel over here. We'd be able to see the red. So now it's taking the dirt off and leaving the paint. And again, I know that from when I started over here, the alcohol was taking some of that paint off. So we'll clean that up and get that going. Maybe I'll get rid of one of these. Maybe a Steve McGarrett fan, a original Hawaii Five-0 fan, will want one of those. It took me a while to find these. I spent a lot of time digging around before I found out what model this was. And I really got into that Hawaii Five-0. Still into it. I'm still doing some checking out some of the videos, just going through, checking out the 70s stuff. So much so I started making videos on another channel just to kind of record what I was finding and why I thought it was kind of cool. All right, just a few final points about this Westclox. This is the cleaned up clock. As you can see, it's very clean. And what I had done was I took the wheels all the way off. That's easily done by removing two couple screws and then two E-clips. And if you're wondering, yes, you can whiten these wheels. Now, remember, this doesn't apply to other clocks, so I can't tell you that just rolling wheel clocks can be done that way. Sometimes it's trial and error, and sometimes you end up with a messed up clock. But as you can see, this whitened up so good to the point that now it looks better than the one that looked good a minute ago. So, yes, it whites up very well. It still has the plastic on here. The plastic cleaned up really good with just the Windex on the back side. So it There it is. Now we've got two Steve McGarrett flip clocks, or Steve McGarrett rolling wheel clocks in Flip Clock Fan Studios. Hope this helps someone. Thanks for taking the time.